it's not equal. So when people say it's equal opportunity, they have to realize that it's not equal opportunity. There is conscious and unconscious biases, whether you choose to accept it or recognize it or not, they do exist. So this is a podcast. Hi and welcome to another fabulous, brilliant, insightful episode of Hanging with the Homegirls with me, Latoya.
And me, Helen.
Wow.
In brackets, Beyonce. In brackets.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Hanging with the Homegirls with me, Latoya, and my co-hosts, Helen, Beyonce, Knowles, Carter, Winfrey, Swain. Say hi. Right? She's rich, so send in all your requests and she will submit payments via PayPal. Just send a letter.
No, the reverse order. Send payments to me. Thanks.
You can't have all those surnames and not have money. So, yes, send in all your financial requests to Helen and she will choose the most suitable candidate and pay for their entire college education. So, thank you, Helen. And on to our topic for the day. So, Miss Knowles, what is our topic for today?
Yeah, so there's been some controversy, some drama, some tea. So everyone knows Tory Lanez. If you don't know, I don't know where you've been. Okay. And yeah, so there was this video that was, I guess, leaked or released.
He posted it on his.
Oh, did he? On his own social media?
Yeah, he posted the video on his own social media.
Okay, so basically it's like behind the scenes, I guess. It's when he was recording the music video and there was a dark-skinned woman playing her role, whatever, dancing a little bit.
She was the video vixen, basically.
Yeah. And then it was implied that the director decided to swap her out.
Yeah, the video basically shows the director switching out the dark-skinned girl for a light-skinned girl. Mm-hmm. And then
that goes on for a couple seconds, and then Tory Lanez is seen stopping the recording, and asking for them to switch it back. So yeah, the way it was portrayed, it was as if he was standing up for. This is what
he posted on his Instagram. Let me post it. So it says, "This is an ongoing problem in our community of entertainment. Needs to stop. As a black man, sometimes I'm just going to joke about the black community."
You're talking too fast.
Sorry.
So dumb.
My bad. I'm going to joke about the black community just like we all do, but what I'm not going to do
Let me read it.
Sorry. Okay, we're staying.
This is an ongoing problem in our community of entertainment that needs to stop. As a black man, sometimes
was that pause accurate?
Listen, yes, that was a comma. As a black man, sometimes I'm going to joke about the black community just like we all do. But what I'm not going to do is allow any of these directors to devalue our black women. Countless times I've seen directors swap our women of colour for women of lighter complexion or women with straighter hair, etc. It is our responsibility as artists to stand up and not let this happen. It's been time. It's beat time. He should have added it to you. Beat time to embrace our women of colour.
Now you're doing. She wants to become a teacher, yes. So now she's correcting grammar. Okay,
beautiful. Whatever. Black is beautiful. So
correcting the grammar.
Yeah. So it's like he's standing up against colorism, and a lot of people were backing him.
People were congratulating him on standing up for people of color and fighting colorism.
Yeah, and showing that black men do actually value black women. But then,
however, and this is where it gets good. Go on.
It was revealed. I believe it was the dark skinned girl in the music video.
Yeah,
she must have come out and said that it was all basically just an act, and that they were trying both girls, so they were just doing two versions.
They had asked for both,
just doing two versions just to see what looks better, and that she wasn't being swapped out because she was dark skinned or anything like that, and she said that Tory Lanez was aware of this.
Basically, this is what she says. There's like a couple of screenshots. So hopefully, if I'm I'm energetic enough and I manage to put this on YouTube, I'll put like pictures of the screenshots. But in the screenshots, she basically says,
she was pointing towards the fact that he was doing it so he could get recognition, so he could get
so basically the dark-skinned girl in the video who Tory Lanez was saying like bring her back in the shot. She's saying that Tory Lanez lied about the whole thing and he barely spoke to her like the entire shoot. She claims Tory asked for the other girl to be there and only gave her compliments. Then so there's a screenshot here, and she basically like the guy asks her, is this Tory Lanez thing fake news? And she's like, yep, he wanted her in the video. So the other person asks the dark-skinned girl, can you tell me what led to him making this post and why he's lying? And then she explains that during like Tory Lanez had asked for both me and the light-skinned girl to do solo shots, but when it was her turn, he said cut the video to make it appear as if it had something to do with race. And she was like defending the director as well, and she was saying she knows the director very well, and they've made her the lead in many roles, and apparently Tory Lanez never actually spoke to her on the set, but he spoke to the light-skinned girl, like telling her how beautiful she was and stuff like that. And so apparently he faked the whole thing to make it look like,
to make it seem like he's standing up for black women, and then obviously people, like women of color would like support him as well.
And so like people were, so basically the comment is like, what is he's what am I trying to say? It was a publicity. Yeah, basically he's clout chasing because he wanted like to look like he was fighting for black women, but he was using an actual issue like a prop. So he's basically pretending he's fighting colorism, but in reality he's not, because the whole time during the shoot he never talked to the dark-skinned girl. He only talked to the light-skinned girl, and then he used the dark-skinned lady as a prop for his own publicity, because he then posted it on his Instagram to try and make it look like he was the hero. And to be fair, like before this time I liked Tory Lanez. Like I used to listen to his music and I liked Tory Lanez, but like this whole thing has just put me off like 110%. Like I was just like, why would you fake stuff like that? The thing that was really triggering me, like, so I was like, people, when this video was posted, like people were commenting and stuff. So there's a lot of things that came up that I was confused about. So the first thing was, people was basically saying like, even though he faked this thing, it is an actual issue, so we should focus on the actual issue. Mm-hmm. And I was like, so that's first. And then the second thing was, there was a lot of like people who were saying like, oh, we shouldn't focus on like this. We should focus on the fact that we're all like women of color. So we shouldn't be like fighting whether like dark-skinned girls are getting or dark-skinned, stuff like that. And it was kind of like the light-skinned girls were like taking offense, were making it seem like, it was weird. Like it was as if, I don't know how to explain it. It was like kind of like,
let's not put our women of colour against each other.
Yeah. And then people were kind of like, yeah, but it's a thing. Colorism is a thing. So you can't pretend that it doesn't exist.
And that does happen.
Yeah, so like lighter skinned girls are chosen over the dark skinned girls. So the other lady in the video shoot now like came and she was explaining what happened, and she says that she basically, can I be asked to read what it says? Do you want to read what it says? Okay. Apparently Helen is a better reader than me. Go on.
Anyway. Okay, so I'm the other model in the behind the scenes footage of the Tory Lanez shoot. I'm not sure where people are going saying that it was staged, because it wasn't. They are talking the most amount of shit. No one was in that room or even allowed in the room other than me, myself, Roro Swag. Who did it?
I think that's the
darker skin model. All right. Stylist, production team, and a director. Alicia was not in that room. The video was shot on the 6th of April in South London. Tory wasn't really happy with any of the models cast, if I'm honest, and he was showing signs that he wasn't happy with the dark-skinned model. Although on this occasion, the original post from his page is exactly what happened, except it wasn't the director who tried to swap me for the dark-skinned model. It was someone else, and Tory did not did stop what happened because he said it would look bad on him if he swapped a darker skinned model for a lighter skinned one. Tory then said, I can't do my black sister like that, but you are beautiful, and she was put back on the set. Then he later spoke to me off set and apologised again and explained he couldn't do it. Whether he had good intentions or not, he still stopped it for that reason. It definitely wasn't staged. Even by looking at his face on camera, you can tell he was confused and didn't know what was going on. The reason why the darker skinned model was swapped was because his body language portrayed that he wasn't happy. But he stepped in and stopped the whole thing while shooting. I mean, you know, that part where he says, I can't do my black sister like that. I think that is shown in the clip. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, I don't know. It's really confusing. I don't know.
So the first question I'm going to ask is, do you think it was real or do you think it was faked?
I think it was real.
So do you think they tried to swap out? So his version was the truth. So the dark-skinned girl is lying.
True. I think it's half true.
How?
I feel like he knew that they were switching them out.
And he used it to his advantage. So it was fake because that was part of the
But it might have been a case where they put the light skinned one too much and he was like, okay, no. I don't know. Or it could be real, but by what the lighter skinned one was saying when she was like, he didn't want it to reflect badly on him. Mm-hmm. So he might have not done it because of colorism. He might have done it because he doesn't want people to say it was colorism. So
basically it was part of the shoot.
Yeah.
But
he probably just didn't... I believe more that he just didn't want to be accused of colorism. He didn't want that topic to be brought up, that it would look bad on him. He didn't want bad publicity.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think it was because he felt passion...
as in he didn't care about colorism, but he just didn't want it. He cared about his image, and then he used that clip to his advantage to boost his social media.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying. I don't know, because he must have known that if it's a shoot and it's planned. I don't know. The thing is, I'm always gonna believe the girl who was there, because the dark skinned girl has nothing to gain by saying that it was.
But some people I have heard there was rumors that she got paid to say it.
Oh, that she got paid to say that
say that it was fake. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay, anyway, from this we came on to other stuff. So basically what happened was I was reading all these comments on Instagram when all this stuff comes out. And basically, I think one comment was talking about how we're all still black, even though, mixed race person is, half of something else. It could be half of, white, Asian, whatever. Black is beautiful, but lighter skin is beautiful too. Everyone should be given equal opportunity and blah, blah, blah. And I'm asking you, do you think people actually understand what colorism is, or are they just confused? Do you think I'm really confused. It's so easy to me.
They're just a bit discombobulated.
Do you think they don't see the world around them? I'm it's obviously, it's an obvious thing that happens. So when people are always talking about black is beautiful, they're the reason why dark-skinned people... dark-skinned girls, guys, I'm not sure how much in the guy section, but girls in general,
to uplift.
Because we don't get equal representation.
Not treated fairly. You know when they said equal opportunity?
Yeah, it's not equal. That's the thing.
All the music videos from the 90s, the early 2000s.
Yeah,
look at all the video vixens.
They're all light-skinned.
It's obvious. It's an obvious problem. Just to try and bypass that, and everybody does understand. All these dark-skinned people that do say, speak up for themselves, and for the community. No one said that, that light-skinned people aren't black. No one said
we don't think light skin is beautiful.
Yeah,
all we're saying is that black, darker skinned girls don't get equal representation. Exactly. Because when producers are given the choice between an ethnically diverse black person and someone who is who is dark skinned, they're gonna choose the light skinned or the mixed race person. That's all.
So I mean, no, we're not dumb. Everyone knows that you are of color. Even if you're mixed, you're of color. That's everyone understands that. But the issue that's being addressed is being darker skinned. That's the issue that they're trying to get out and trying to solve, not about who's black, who's
it's like
not
that
black.
situation where like some people are like where you're saying Black Lives Matter and other people are saying all lives matter, and we're like that's not the case.
No one said that all lives don't matter. They're just saying Black lives matter too. Like
we're just saying we're in a position where our lives don't are like dark skinned girls are in a position where they're being mistreated.
If you look at facts and you look at statistics, you will see it. If people need it on paper, if they can have it on paper, like you'll see it. So
it's the same way we're talking about Love Island. Like you can see that when like dark skinned people or people who are fully black go onto like shows like this, there's no representation. Like where it's always done as like a token. Like we're not,
and that's only
it's not embraced.
Brought up. So it's like.
So it's like sometimes I'm like, do people just not wanna? It's like, you know how when like black people talk about racism, white people don't want to admit it exists. You know, like that. Mm-hmm. It's the same with colorism. When black people talk about colorism, like mixed race and light skinned people always seem to think like it's an attack on them. But it's not. Because me and you, like we're not dark. Like you're basically light skinned. You're mixed race, and I'm like. I don't know how to describe myself. Well, I'm mixed race, but I'm not light. Exactly. I don't look. No one would think I'm mixed race.
Okay.
I just look black, but I'm not necessarily dark skinned. But you can see that exists. So how come other light skinned people can't see it? How come like they think a lot of light skinned people tend to think that dark skinned people are always hating on them because they're light skinned. Dark skinned people are not scared of jealous of light skinned people. All we're saying is that it's an environment where people of darker skin are seen as less than people of lighter skin. All that we're trying to do is uplift ourselves and show people that this is a bias that exists. But then the people on top get upset because they're like, oh, but technically we're all black. But are we really? Because there's biases within race as well.
It's people. It's just off color. Like we understand everyone is off color,
but within the off color, there's a bias in that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like I know some people are here and they're saying, oh, like I'm mixed, but I was born and raised in Africa, so all I know is black. Yet to black people, I'm a lighty, but to white people, I'm black and stuff like that.
But that's like okay.
I'm really confused as to what's going on. Like, please tell me. Like, what does that have to do with the issue?
My mom is dark skinned. My dad wasn't really around that much when I was younger. So I was brought up basically black as well. Like sometimes I'll be forgetting that I'm lighter. But that doesn't change the fact that if an opportunity was to arise, the lighter skinned person, even though she grew up in Africa, she as a lighter person would probably get picked over someone darker.
Yeah.
That's the
reality
issue. That's like what we're getting at. We're not saying you're not as black, you're not as cultured, you don't know the black.
When I see a mixed race person, I think they're black. But that doesn't mean that colorism doesn't exist. We're not saying that by pointing out colorism that you're not black. That's not the case. We're just saying that there's a certain stigma with being darker skin.
It's like when black people try to say like white people should acknowledge their white privilege. Like acknowledge it. Just acknowledge it.
Exactly.
As a light-skinned person, you should acknowledge that you're going to get better opportunities because you are light-skinned. Whether you grew up in the hood, whether you grew up
there's
with the all-black family, it doesn't matter. You need to acknowledge that because that's just the reality. Like I said, it's the reality of today. Like if you're lighter,
because in order to like combat bias, you have to admit they exist. So by you pretending that there's no light-skin bias and saying that we're all black, no one is saying because you're light-skinned we're saying you're white. Like black people don't think because you're light-skinned you're white. That's never the case. But for some reason that always seems to be the stance, and we're like, are you really listening to what we're telling you? Are you really deep in what we're saying? It's like when we say, oh, you're white, so you have white privilege. Like you get certain like I don't want to say bonuses, but okay, you get certain like
you get privilege. You have light skin privilege,
and there's light skin privilege, but you don't want to admit you have privilege. Why? I don't see why not. Like you're light skin, you can admit that there's a light skin privilege.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you don't have to agree with it. No one's saying that you support it. No one's saying that you favor it. Like it is what it is. Like it's there, and you have it.
It's
you were
like back
born
in
with
the
it.
day,
That's
like
it.
when back in the day, like back in the day when like, do you remember when there was a time where a lot of mixed race people were like making fun of dark skinned people?
Mm-hmm.
And then loads of old tweets came up, like you remember with Maya Jama and like all that stuff. So it does happen, and it did exist.
Can you imagine that only started to surface? But what did we always used to hear stories of, like back in the day as well?
Yeah.
We used to always hear stories like, when I was in school, all the darker skinned girls would like try to cut my hair. They were jealous of my, like. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Because I remember they'll be like, oh my gosh, yeah.
To be fair, I lived in a predominantly white area, so I don't know.
They'll be like, they used to like not like me because I was lighter, and they would like make fun of me and try to cut my hair and try to do this and this and try to fight me.
Yeah. But
no one said anything. When it was the reverse, it's like,
yeah.
oh, like,
no one says that you were bullying them, so they started bullying you, or vice versa. But that's the same. That's the same thing. It's always the stigma. It's always like black people are like trying to attack.
Aggressive, jealous ones.
They're aggressive. They're jealous. They want to be like you, blah, blah, blah. So you're basically adding to the narrative and then trying to come and claim blackness when you're basically calling dark-skinned girls aggressive and saying that they bully and we're jealous of you.
That,
you never ask. Like most dark-skinned girls are happy in their skin. They don't want to be a lie. But we're just saying, admit that this bias exists. But you just never do. For what reason, I don't know. Because you admit it will still be there. Don't worry, like it won't go away. Like there will still be light skin bias. I don't care if people come for me. This is the actual truth. And I don't know why everyone in the world just thinks that being ignorant is bliss. It's not. If you ignore it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist, okay? Like racism still exists. White people are always like, but it's getting better. Like, what? Unconscious bias? Like, no. It exists.
I don't know. People just talk too much. Like actions speak louder than words. Like, if we just see in the media, whether it's on shows, music videos, I don't care. When we see it, then that's the issue being resolved. You can't just be like, oh yeah, it's getting better because I've not seen this happen to this person, blah, blah, blah. But just show it. Like, just show it and like be responsible for yourself. Like if you acknowledge it, and everyone does the same thing for themselves. They acknowledge it.
Yeah, you acknowledge your bias. Yeah,
that's how
you have to say like I'm like the ways like men know that they are paid better than women. They like men have a bias. Like men are better than women. Like that's the thing that's been shown to be true. So how you can't go and say like men and women are equal and be like technically not really, because it's still like statistics still show that women get paid less for doing the same job, etc., etc., etc.
And what we would want to see, I don't know what's happening with that, but what we would want to see is that like something being done about it. Like I don't know, petitions being made, or the men, like. Or what do you call it? The head of the companies, of these corporate companies, actually splitting it equally, like actually doing it. Or fighting for it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's like...
You have to fight unconscious bias.
Yeah.
Well, technically, I don't even think it's unconscious. I think people just ignore it because it's easier. As long as it doesn't really affect them, no one cares. Like white people don't care about racism because it doesn't affect them. Once it starts to affect you is when you care. So
like, be like, yeah, I know.
But you're not going to do anything about it because it doesn't affect you.
Yeah. I don't know.
And the same way, a lot of light-skinned people and mixed race people, they just, I don't know why they choose to ignore that it doesn't exist.
It's like some roles, if they ask for like a black person, if you're light-skinned, just allow it, like, just...
It's the same way that we've been saying, like, sometimes you'll find, like... It's the way we said, like, we always talk about it. Fresh Prince, old one with dark skin, new one with light skin.
Yeah, it's like one.
I mean...
Even, like, so, you know, like, The Hate U Give, that film, with Amanda Steinberg?
Yeah.
She played it well, I'm not going to lie. She played the character well and everything like that. However, the whole film is, like, about... Well, from what I got from it, the whole film is about the black struggle in America, like the black experience, and like the dynamic between like the white people, the black people, everything like that. And since you're talking about the struggle, and the character she played like stands up for like black people as well, because she kind of assimilates, because she's like a little bit better off than the people in the hood. So she assimilates, like she just goes with the flow. Then eventually she just stands, like she acknowledges it, like the struggle, and stands up for black people. However, She's very light skinned. She looks mixed race. Like,
isn't she mixed race?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I was a bit triggered. I was like, for this role, would you not get a dark skinned black girl to play that role?
Or at least a fully black looking black person. As in maybe they
compromise. Okay.
Compromise. I'm just saying, as in like distinctively there's no confusion.
Yeah.
Like there's no like where you can be like, oh, that person is mixed race. It's like, but to be fair, like you tend to find all the like leading ladies in terms of black actresses nowadays, especially for our age, they tend to be light skinned. Like who's on top right now? Like it's like her. She's been in a lot of movies, and like Yara Shahidi is very famous. And what's her name? I've forgotten her name. I like her. What's her name? What's her name? I've forgotten her name. It's not coming to my head. Zendaya.
Oh, Zendaya. Yeah, you're right.
You find like it's rare. If you can name one our age in their like early 20s, dark skinned girl who's prominent right now. Nothing. They barely like you can't even name one. I'll give you 5 minutes. You can't even name one. Like especially I feel like even before there was more so. I don't know what's happening. Like back in the day, there was so many. Like there was. I feel like it was better. I don't know why. I don't know how it's gotten worse.
And we're aware that like you have like Taraji P. Henson and like Issa Rae, like.
But they're not our generation. Like
we do have those people, but
I guess there's that other girl. She's really talented as well. Marissa Martin, the one who directed that movie.
Little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's dark skinned. Yeah. But she's not even our generation. Like she's younger. She's like the next generation.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like in our age bracket, all the girls that you see like famous, like have their own TV shows, all light skinned. Do we even have black TV shows anymore? They're just Blackish. Yeah. But it's like in Blackish, they're light skinned. The only dark one is Marissa.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I forget she's grown. She's getting big now.
Yeah, she's getting big, but she's the only dark skinned one. It's like it's so weird because it's like it's Anthony Anderson and I forgot her name, Tracy Ellis Ross, and they have all these kids and all of them look mixed race, apart from one.
Even the mom, like she is mixed. It's like. Just have a like I don't know.
There's no black families, but to be fair, black families on TV have always had light skinned moms,
and the daughters are always light skinned. Yeah, except for the youngest one, maybe.
In My Wife and Kids, after they replaced the dark skinned Claire, they replaced it with a light skinned Claire, and the baby is light skinned. What other show was there? Prince of Bel Air. The youngest one was dark skinned again, and the older one.
And the wife was also light skinned. Oh, my side.
My bad. I just realized. Let me just throw it in there. I just realized that I've been saying it wrong. It's Masai, but you get what I'm saying. But as in, you knew who we're talking about, Masai Martin. But like she's to be fair, she's not really our generation. She's up and coming, but like, and she's super talented. But I'm just saying, like in terms of our time and actresses, there's not really that many dark-skinned ones. Can you name another famous dark-skinned actress from our generation until 30?
There ain't any.
Even if you think of musicians, name any big musician. Like, just look at the world around you, please. Can you name any like big musicians who are dark-skinned, please? Girls.
Lady Lachelle.
Is she big though? I'm talking about big, like
big.
That's what I'm saying, like, in the whole world of music. Yeah, but
it's like
in the whole world of music. Yeah, she's big here. But I'm saying as in, like, globally, there's not that many, like, dark-skinned women, like, making it big.
It's as if, like, the wow factor is you have to be light-skinned, like, because to be honest, like, Masai, like, she's younger. So her wow factor is, like, she's young and she's direct, she's doing all these things. You know what I mean? She's got ambition. The ones that are older, they've worked hard, they've written their own stuff, like...
Maybe it just didn't, like... Yeah. It just didn't come out.
Well seasoned, you know? So it's like...
It's like the black roles can be played by light-skinned girls, but the light-skinned roles can never be played by black girls. Exactly. So, like black is only black when it's black.
I told you, especially when it's the whole premise of the thing that you're showing is about a black struggle. Why is the main character not black? Why are they not fully black? I don't understand.
Oh, but there's power. The main lady in power is, but he leaves her for the Latino one. Oh yeah.
There you go.
Sorry, I just came up with my own example and I wowed myself. That just came off the top of my head. I was like, oh shit, power has a main black lady, and then I was like, oh yeah, and then he leaves her for the Latino. Yeah, makes sense. And then it's the black lady's ghetto and the Latino one's a lawyer. So why, like, couldn't that have been reversed? You know, I mean, Latino people are ghetto too. So she made it. You know what? I can't even. There's so many examples and people are out here acting like colorism isn't real. But anyway, anchor us out. What are your final thoughts?
I'm gonna add it anyway. Even like my friend, she's like trying to get into the acting industry. Like she's been doing some things. Like she's up and coming. Effie, shout out to the dancer. Watch that space. But yeah, she's dark skinned. Like she is dark skinned, and it's harder for her to get roles. Like she gets them because she's very talented, but it's harder for her to get roles, especially because even like yesterday, she went for an audition, and for this, I think it was either a play, like a short play or something like that. For it, out of the whole cast, it's just one black person that they need, just one black girl that they need in the whole cast. So imagine all the dark-skinned girls and the light-skinned ones. Why not? Everybody is now applying, like now what is auditioning for that role. So you already have very small opportunities in the first place. It just makes it really hard. Like,
because if you already have a limited amount of opportunities and there's already like, it's already being monopolized by like a certain group of people, and whether consciously or unconsciously.
Exactly. So yeah.
It's not equal. So when people say it's equal opportunity, they have to realize that it's not equal opportunity. There is conscious and unconscious biases, whether you choose to accept it or recognize it or not, they do exist. So the only way to combat bias is to admit they exist and to work against it. So acting like there's no light skin privilege or there's no white privilege isn't helping anything. It's not going to make it fair. So I don't even see the purpose. You know what? To be fair, I'm just a better person now. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it proud. I'm just better. I have lost faith.
I'm better too.
Because I'm like, honestly, it's been happening for a long time and people are just pretending that it's not real. So I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to help anyone anymore because me discussing it with you and trying to explain it to you is never going to work.
You're just not going to accept it.
So you're never going to accept it. So you know what? I'm going to talk to the people who understand.
If you know, you know. That's it.
And those of you who don't, just continue to live in your world. Like, continue to live in your world where racism, white privilege, and colorism doesn't exist. Yeah, you know what? Well done. And have a good day. This is a
podcast. No.
Nothing. If you could introduce yourself, how would you introduce it? Like, how would you, like, present yourself?
Hi, I'm Helen.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
welcome to my talk show. Thank you. I don't know. I don't introduce
That was
myself.
so tragic. Try again, please.
You do it.
I can't think of anything. But I wouldn't do that.
Listen,
Pretend
my
that it was
two
good.
last brain cells are just dwindling here. Leave me alone.
Okay, let me see.